Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in. Hope y'all all had a good week. I appreciate you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and even commenting. So for this Let's Draw video, I'm going to change it up a bit and we're going to be working on a new OC. An OC is an original character that artists use for almost anything. Illustrations, graphics, logos, whatever. It's something we're going to make and call it our own. This will also be beneficial, so we're not just drawing the same thing from the references and actually creating our own thing. So as of now, we're in the brainstorming phase of designing our OC. An original character that we can use throughout the video, so that way we can keep things interesting and not get bored of looking at the same things over and over. So starting with the head, which is the most important, I'm going to be as loose as possible and just try to flesh out ideas. Things will change over time. Some things I'll probably keep, some things I'll get rid of, but just want to play around with the character and not be too serious. I'm going to zoom in a bit. Camera's starting to get a little blurry. I'm gonna also do a profile, so that way it gives me more information to work with for future ideas. Now, when it comes to the inking, I'm not trying to be perfect, nor am I trying to use a certain pen. I'm just using a regular Sharpie ballpoint. So I'm going to be shading it, and I don't want it to take up too much time. The video was like an hour and 40 minutes long, and that's pretty much a live stream. So if you're interested in that, then once I get to 50 subscribers, they'll let me do the live streams on YouTube. Again, I'm going to try to keep it perfect, but I want to make sure my inking lines give a good representation of the human structure by making sure the proportions between things like the eyes and ears are in line, as well as the collar and the protrusion of the chin. Also, I want to be loose with the hair. I want it to drape over the shoulder, but recognize that there's a ponytail with some loose strands hanging out. College instructor for my character design class used to tell me all the time that shapes are very important when it comes to your OC, as well as translating the mood and characteristics of that character. I use rectangles for the eyes to give it a serious look, angles for the hair, jawline, and collar to give it a sharp and dangerous look. Some small aesthetics that we can remember to use in the future. So like we want to make him a gangster or a saint, or hell, even take the D&D route and possibly make him a good fighter. As long as we understand the overall idea, the possibilities are endless. Mimicking my instructors again, understand the rules perfectly so you can break them efficiently. Now that I'm done with my OC's face, I'm going to start working on the body as well as the fashion. So I like the suit idea. Let's keep him in that. I like the 3-point perspective pose, so I'm going to keep that. I'm going to start with a basic gesture for the pose so I can understand the flow and the energy of the pose. And I definitely want to keep the nonchalant vibe. Now I'm going to start putting in the structure and foundation. Of course, cylinders, triangles, and rectangles. I'm checking my perspective line so I can make sure my foreshortening is right. Before I start with the detail using the mechanical pencil. Clear it up a bit. Not gonna lie, I was having some struggles with the compression folds and the tension lines in the fabric, but figured what I know I could get away with creating the idea of the actual suit. Having a good understanding of how gravity and tension works on fabric, especially during a bunch of exercises like I did in high school and college, helped me tremendously when it came to 2D, 3D animation, as well as storyboarding and comics. Also using 3D software that it's free, like just Sketch Me or Pose Mania, was a tremendous help even during my college days as well as now. There are many free softwares and references you can use to increase your art style as well as your tools in your toolbox. Now, if you're wondering why I'm taking so much time on the suit, is because it's the tougher idea to start fleshing out. Even though I have a reference next to me, I don't want to keep it exactly the same. I'm going to put the character's face on right after I make sure I get the look I'm going for. The book gives a rich boy, preppery, or businessman aesthetic. I'm trying to push more towards the John Wick, danger, mysterious, man in a suit aesthetic. As I draw the ponytail, I want to make sure there's enough space between the shoulders and the arm to make them look more broader. So I want to add some more personality as I'm fleshing out the character's face. Let's give him a cigarette. And gonna add some shading just so I have a good idea when I'm inking or fleshing it out. Now I need to decide where my light is going to come from, so I'm just going to slap a bulb here. Add more characteristics, some prop, maybe a button pin. I'll finish up this sketch and start another one. Let's put them in a different outfit, something sporty. Also, I want to make a shorter and younger version of our OC, kind of like he was in college. So I'm going to use about 5 heads, maybe 6. Plus, I like this contrapostal pose and the way he raised the cell phone up higher than what you need to look at it. My storyboard instructor called this the "Why did you send me this" pose. And again, we're going to rinse and repeat the same steps. We did our last figure, building the foundation. So I'm going to try to use more tension folds than what it shows on the reference, because I want to create the illusion of a different material. Make sure I have my shape of the hand. We're going to go back over it later, so it doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to get the sketch done. So I'm going to switch to the detailing mechanical pencil, but I just want to make sure I get a few more lines together. Come to think of it, I probably might do a video on prop design. Let me know in the comment section if that's something you'd be interested in. I'll start putting the details on the face and hair. Move down to the shoulders. Making sure we create enough distance so it actually feels like a character has volume. Cargo and utility pockets are a must-have for me, though there's others that believe having more pockets make you more of a threat. So that way we get more of that danger and mysterious vibe. And let's also keep the boots. So it seems like he's always ready. Start working on the hair a little bit and bring it over the shoulder. Again, making them look younger. Make that backpack stand out a little more. Put some detail on the shoes. Let's start inking. And again, I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm just trying to get this as quick as I can and get the idea out. Later on, we can start getting more fancy with our character in upcoming videos. But like I keep saying, I'm not trying to be perfect with the ink. I'm just trying to lay it down, move on. but I also want to change things as I go because I want to make the character my creation and not just copy and paste. I also have other books on fashion as well as anime designs for fashion, and if you want to see those, let me know. Now after I finish up, I'm going to clean this up a bit and try to get it ready for some shading. Throw in a few more tension lines just to give that fabric pop out look. Once again, bring out that backpack some more. It just looks plain. Create a zipper and then bring in Jumbo so we can speed this along. I'm just trying to get all the dark parts. Bring in Tombo and give a decent outline for this one. I wanted to do the wrinkles, but just black out the whole shirt. They're barely visible from this angle. All right, like that. I'm gonna play around with the dry part of my brush of this marker. That way I can get some values that I normally wouldn't. Thank you for sticking to the end of the video. Please like, share, subscribe, and let me know in the comment section what you'd like to see. The next video will be us drawing a girl OC using the hairstyle book that we recently reviewed. So stay tuned, stay blessed. If you can, try to create something. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be.